All right, what's up, guys? We're going to look at product sum puzzles, and they're kind of fun figuring out how things work. What you need to know is that the top number is a product, so two numbers multiplied together. The bottom number should be a sum. And we are finding the two numbers that multiply to give us the product, but they add together to give us the sum. Okay, so that's what a product sum puzzle is. This is what it looks like. So I have 30 as my product. I have 11 as my sum. So I need two numbers that multiply to 30 but add to 11. Both of these are positive, so I know my numbers have to be positive numbers. And I just start thinking like, okay, I know 30 times 1 is 30, but when I add 30 and 1, that is an 11. If I do 2 and 15, that's 30, but those don't add to 11, right? I could do 3 times 5. Oh, sorry, not 3 times 5, 3 times 10. Let me get my head straight. So that's 13 if I add it together. All right, 4 doesn't work. 5 times 6 is 30. 5 plus 6 is 11. So those would be the factors that work. Okay, so that's what we're thinking. They multiply. 5 times 6 is 30. 5 plus 6 is 11. Okay, all right, let's look at it again. I have 9 and I have negative 6. 9 is the product, and negative 6 is my sum. Okay, now I have a positive product but a negative sum, so that means both of these numbers are going to have to be negative, because double negative makes positive, but negative plus negative will stay negative. Okay, so we have to know something about how our integers work together, right? Especially with those signs. All right, so I start thinking again, just like, okay, I could do 9 times 1 is 9, but 9 and 1 is 10. Even if they're negatives, that would be negative 10, right? I could say negative 9, negative 1, right? So then I think, okay, always start with what multiplies, because that limits your options compared to addition. So I could do negative 3 times negative 3, that's positive 9. Negative 3 plus negative 3 is negative 6, so my two numbers have to be negative 3 and negative 3, because that multiplies to positive 9, but when I add them together, I get negative 6. Okay. All right, negative 12 and positive 4. Negative 12 is my product. 4 is my sum. I have a negative product. The only way I'm going to get a negative product is if one of these is positive and the other is negative. Okay. I have a positive sum, so that means that this number should be the larger number, because I should have more positives than I have negatives. Okay, so all these things go into thinking about it, just like what's going to make sense here. All right, so negative 12, I could do negative 1 times 12. That gets me negative 12, but when I add those together, that's only 11, right? I could do negative 2 times 6. Gosh, I keep writing the wrong numbers. Negative 2 times 6 is negative 12. Negative 2 plus 6 is 4. Hey, that's what I want. So it would be 6 and negative 2 makes this a product sum puzzle. Okay, so that's what we're looking at, is what makes it true. If you're comfortable with your multiplication, you'll see these a little bit quicker. Until we start getting larger numbers, I can show you how you could use Desmos to help you figure this out too. But knowing how to do this is going to help us with factoring trinomials in a little bit. So let's just look at what some of those patterns were. So remember, we have our product. We're looking for what multiplies to the product but adds to the sum, right? If both of these are positive, then both of my numbers are going to be positive numbers, right? Looking for those patterns, because that will help us with deciding what should happen. If I have a positive product but a negative sum, that means these both have to be negative, because the only way I get a positive product is if my signs are the same. Okay, so now if I have negative product, that means I have to have opposite signs, because that's the only way I'm going to get, when I multiply opposite signs, I get a negative. Okay, but if I have a negative sum, that means that this negative has to be larger than the positives. So we have to have more negatives than we have positives if we're going to end up with a negative answer adding them together, right? And so then the opposite is true if we end up with a negative product, so they have to be opposite, but I have a positive sum. That means that the positives have to be larger. We have to have more positives than negatives, okay? And so that's how these product sum puzzles work. That's what we're doing. Give it a go, try these ones, and see how you do.